and welcome back to Many Tribes, One Kingdom. I'm your host, Dustin. In this episode of 5 Minutes in Church History, we will be discussing the other capital of this region, Samaria. Samaria was the capital of the northern country of Israel, and as we remember, what we covered in the first part, or in the first episode of 5 Minutes in Church History this month, as far as our capitals, we learned about the capital of the southern country, Judah, Jerusalem, and because at this point in history they were two separate countries. But before we go into this learning about Samaria, if you're new, please go down and hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. And if you're watching this on Facebook, please click the name above us and hit that follow button on our page. If you like the content or have ideas for future Christian content that you would like us to cover, please leave us a comment down below. Now, without further waiting, Samaria. In 1 Kings chapter 16 verse 24, we see the first mention of Samaria and its founding and construction in 875 BC by Omri and finished by his son Ahab. The city was a hot zone with many kings of Israel making this their capital, as well as devoting their worship and the country's worship of foreign gods. First of this is noted in 1 Kings chapter 16, where we see Ahab construct a worship site to Baal for his wife Jezebel, which later you see Elijah, one of John's favorite people in the Bible, John, my co-host, where he went to Mount Carmel and made a great display that Baal was not an active god. But anyways, I digress. It is also to be noted that the Omri and Ahab era had the best constructed buildings because of Omri coming from the region of Phoenicia, which was renowned for its craftsmen. This craftsman also assisting in the building of the city. In archaeological digs, not much has been found of those buildings since the city was constantly being rebuilt. It is believed that earthquakes were the cause of many of the city's reconstructions. However, later reconstructions were considered inferior since the kings of Israel had Israeli labor and not the higher caliber labor of the craftsmen of Phoenicia. Skipping ahead to the time of the Roman conquest, Samaria was placed, as we know, under the rule of Herod, which we see a lot more of Roman construction and Roman buildings, sort of doing away with the more ancient buildings of Phoenician and Israeli design. In Acts chapter 8, we see that Samaria is the center of the work of Simon the magician, and later on it was sacked in 66 AD during the early months of the revolt against the Roman rulers. Most of the modern ruins are of Roman design and come from the time period of 180 to 230 AD. And this is noted as being the height of Samaria's greatness, and the height of Samaria's greatness and popularity throughout the country. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode of 5 Minutes in Church History. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to place them down in the comments section down below or email us. The email is located at the end of this video in the outro. Have a great day, everyone, and God bless you.